Warm regards to all the participants and the Manufacturing Today team for organizing the annual summit on smart factories. Please also accept my regrets for not making it to the session physically due to some conflicting engagements on my side. Nevertheless, I hope that I can throw some light on this very important subject for which we have gathered today. Being a professional who has worked in the manufacturing sector for my entire career, this is a topic very close to my heart. In the 2.5 decades I have been part of this industry, I have seen many changes myself. And I can envision that the manufacturing of the future will be completely different from what we know today. But before I can share my thoughts on what this transformation is likely to be, let me take all of you through a brief journey of how we got to where we are today. And let's start with some very basic things. Do you know where the word manufacturing comes from? Well, it comes from Latin words manus and factum, which literally means made by hand. So this is where it all started, as mankind discovered its ability to make things. And ever since this humble beginning, manufacturing has undergone many paradigm shifts from the Bronze and Iron Ages to today's technology. The first industrial revolution in the 18th century marked a shift from an agrarian and handicraft economy to one dominated by machines. What were the key drivers of this transformation? Well, mechanization and the introduction of steam or water power. Then came the second industrial revolution in the 19th and early 20th century, which introduced the concept of assembly lines. And this phase was characterized by concepts of standardization and mass production. The key driver in this era was the availability of electricity for machines to function. In both these phases, the availability of sources of power enabled an increase in productivity, leading to reduction in costs and an increase in supply for the fast growing consumption we saw. The third industrial revolution, or the digital revolution, began in the 1970s. This was a phase characterized by computers and the conversion of technology from analog to digital format. Most of the present day manufacturing is based on this evolution. And the philosophy behind this cycle is automation, robotics, and computing. This phase also coincided with the information age and the internet boom. One key thing to note is that even if we went towards digitalization and automation, it was never independent of human intervention and was mostly based on repetitive action. This is a key characteristic as well as a limiting factor in the Industry 3.0. Let me now take a very simple day-to-day example from our real life today. Imagine we have a material handling robot that is installed to pick up a box from point A and deliver it to point B. The box size is fixed and the points A and B are also fixed. The technology of today can do this very efficiently, day in and day out. And over time, we have improved it. For example, we can make it flexible to adjust to different box sizes or choosing a point C instead of point A or B. But all that has to be programmed in advance and then it runs efficiently. Now imagine that we have boxes of different shapes and sizes lying randomly in front of us. They all have to be picked up and placed properly, neatly stacked at a particular location. This cannot be programmed in advance because every time it could be a different situation. Now we need an equipment which has cognitive intelligence, can capture and convert visual images into engineering data, has the ability to process it, has inherent flexibility in its built-in hardware, and it can learn as it works so that it can improve over time. This is just a very basic example of what manufacturing of tomorrow will be. And this is made possible by developing technology that enables the integration of a physical asset with a digital ecosystem. In fact, in a recent survey by Gartner, 17% of the managers interviewed believe that the manufacturing processes at their companies will be lights out processes. What do we mean by lights out processes? This means no human beings on the shop floor. And I know this sounds surreal, but this is what the future looks like. And this is only going to increase going forward. Machines of tomorrow will no longer need human beings to give orders to them. They will be equipped with smart algorithms that will help them make data-driven decisions, making them agile, flexible, autonomous, and more productive. We already have many examples in the industry already. Fanuc, a Japanese robotics company, has been operating as a lights-out factory since 2001. In Netherlands, Philips uses lights-out manufacturing to produce electric razors with 128 robots. There are only 9 human quality assurance workers who oversee the end of the manufacturing process. In fact, I believe manufacturing will not remain only about making things. The way I see it, it will be transformed into an end-to-end ecosystem where data is collected at every point in the value chain and fed into smart, artificially intelligent, and machine learning algorithms. These algorithms will then make the necessary changes in the products or processes to ensure continuous improvement, optimal productivity, and customer satisfaction. One of the most important elements of the future of manufacturing is going to be the smart factory or factory of the future. It will be a completely digitized manufacturing facility that uses connected devices, machinery, and production systems to continuously collect and share data. This data is then used for decision making and process improvements. The smart manufacturing practices used by a smart factory are enabled by a variety of technologies, including artificial intelligence, big data analytics, cloud computing, and the industrial Internet of Things. In fact, smart factory initiatives will be the main driver of manufacturing competitiveness in the next 5 years. Investments in this area will continue to accelerate in the coming years. And in fact, the global smart factory market is projected to reach about $220 billion by 2027, growing at a CAGR of 7%. Let me also now take a minute to share with you what are we doing in DIC. How are we preparing for this transformation? Well, we believe digital transformation will be a key enabler for business growth and success. In fact, the automobile industry itself is going through a big transformation. The industry is moving from a product model to a service model, apart from a complete change of propulsion technology. This makes it imperative for companies like ours to develop capabilities to process huge amounts of data. Once the industry moves to a truck as a service model, this big data will help us create insights, which will be key to customer retention and generating new leads. We are also working on digitizing our production and supply chain processes. Our effort is to digitize processes in every value stream, right from EDI-based invoicing to warehouse management. In fact, we have implemented apps that provide suppliers with performance information and support new product development. We are in the process of developing IoT apps which will track the performance of in-house equipment and boost efficiency improvement. So step by step, we are progressing towards our goal of 100% end-to-end digitalization of processes and systems in this factory of the future. With all that evolution of technology, I think we also have to look at another aspect. How does the future impact all of us? Well, we are moving fast towards an ecosystem driven by data and intelligent systems. While we take these steps, it is also imperative to have an understanding of what will be the impact of that on our business, our people, and society as a whole. Well, productivity will be a clear winner in the factory of the future. In fact, we are likely to see efficiency improvements previously unheard of. And this will create a competitive environment where only the most efficient organizations will survive. Organizations which can adapt to this paradigm shift and embrace it. The product development cycles will become even more agile and shorter. And that means more choice for customers. And as we move from the information age to the experience age, customization will be the name of the game. Companies that can do this best will come out winners. Data generated across the value chain will be a key raw material for manufacturing of the future. In fact, it has become quite popular to say data is the new oil, undoubtedly. But data is also the new playground and battleground. It will be a playground for companies who are front runner in harnessing it to evolve their businesses. It will be a battleground for the companies who will struggle to do so. Having said that, there's another dimension which we must all prepare for: cybersecurity, because that comes along with all that. All businesses will need to do formidable investments to keep their value chains and business secure. So where does this leave the most important component, which is us, the people, society? While it is true that most routine and repetitive jobs will be replaced by automation, demand for high-end programming and technology jobs will definitely rise. In fact, we are already seeing that happening. Upskilling and reskilling, therefore, of the workforce should definitely be a top priority as we prepare our people for the jobs of the future. What impact will it have on number of jobs is also another very critical dimension as we prepare for the shift. And I believe a timely and well thought out concerted plan between all stakeholders to handle that aspect is also the need of the hour. In the end, I would like to mention a simple yet a very profound quote by John C. Maxwell. And he said, "Change is inevitable, growth is optional." So the change is in front of us. It is happening as I speak. It is up to all of us to ensure we are not slow to react and make ourselves and our organizations future ready. With that, I would conclude my address for today. It was my pleasure to be a part of the annual Smart Factory Summit by Manufacturing Today. Thank you for your patient listening.